but he always did whatever the stupid stuff we did, he followed.
Until he got taller than you guys.
I think a lot of what you see here today, not only for Rob, but for all of us, this is North Miami Beach. Right. This is 10th Avenue, 177th Street. Some stupid bomb shelter somebody built, I don't know.
Nobody can
That was in Vicky Zuber's house.
No, it was my house.
And Vicky Zuber had.
Oh, Vicky Zuber lived in our house, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
This was a very,
But Rob, all of us, we, you know, people say it's the life you live, but it's also the life that you create from your friendships and everything else. And that's Rob. Rob was all of us, and that's why we're here, and that's why we'll remember him the way we do.
So my first recollection of Rob, conscious recollection, would be like when we were kids, we used to come over to the house and you guys had a dog named Princess.
Oh, yeah, I was going to tell the princess story.
That fucking dog was that. There was something wrong with that dog. But Rob used to get me. We'd get in the bedroom and we would be hanging out and whatever, and he'd say, "Watch this," and he'd do something like his fingers together, and the dog would like start to salivate and shit. Get us all crazy, and so that was one.
that was the house. We had, I think, the first pool in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, I got the pool. So it took us all of us short guys. Took us a really long time to figure out why Rob always beat us swimming. Because he was about a foot taller than all of us, you know? So he always had the ability to like get to the other end faster than everybody else. Except for some reason, Mr. Abrams.
And he was shorter.
He was svelte like he is now. And he couldn't beat Jeff.
We always.
Jeff was just determined.
One of my greatest prides is that we swam several times in that pool. We listened to great music like One Is the Loneliest Number, or all that kind of music from the 60s, and we always tied. I don't know, I think Izzy was a good swimmer or something like that. And it was one of my greatest prides, because, you know, of our height difference, as you know. I also have a princess story. And so a couple of times, a few times I imagine, I spent the night. And so I had my own bed, of course, obviously. And Princess, for whatever reason, decided that she wanted to sleep with me. So Princess would like fall asleep in the bed against my leg. And if I would ever try to move my leg, even the slightest, and like, you know, she'd bite me. And so, like, I would have hours up at night, trying to get to sleep, unable to move, and this princess was, They were still nonetheless fond memories. And then we'd hang out in the kitchen, and Rob would make his milk with honey and sugar, and he would drink it down. The only person I've ever known who did that. Wow. And there's so many more stories, but that's all I can think of for now.
Largest tuna by the pool.
Huh?
Best tuna sandwiches. Marge made the best tuna sandwiches.
I'll say something.
Larry,
Larry, what'd you do your half tour?
We're going on a boat trip after 31 lines.
Let's thank Susan for a beautiful. I love Rob. Rob was my first friend and a lifetime friend. I'm looking at the pictures and I see all the people here. It just warms me a lot. He placed a premium on friends and family. This is what Robert spoke about all the time, his friends and his family. Our friend Larry, who's here, made a remark that he was the most unique person he ever met. And Larry's known him since he was 3 years old. Mark Lundy mentioned something about, in his lifetime, he will never meet anybody quite like Robert. And he understands that. We'll all miss his hugs, his bear hugs. And I told Robert I loved him every time I saw him for the last 35 years. We were bar mitzvah together, and we spent many times together. His legacy, look around. This is his legacy. Friends, family, friends, you. you, his wife, we love you. And this is all for Robert. He loved this. He would be a pig in shit.
He'd be eating right now.
We were going to celebrate our 50th bar mitzvah this March. I will, in fact, do my Haftorah, and I'll do it in honor of Robbie.
Finally.
I'll do it in honor of Robbie. And, I'm so happy to see everybody here today. I'm beyond happy. And Robbie would just love this.
Yeah.
Just enjoy yourselves. If anybody else has anything else to say,
I got one thing
please.
to say. I got a Rob story. This is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. We're on our 40 trip in Colorado in Central City, and Firefall was playing in the corner, and there's a street vendors. I mean, it's just a beautiful Colorado day, and it couldn't be nicer. And they had chair massages on the sidewalks, and Larry decides to have himself a little massage. He gets down there, he's 5-10 minutes in his massage, he's comfortable. Rob walks by, zips him right in the ribs. Larry popped up, "I'm gonna kill you!" And they chased each other down Central City on this beautiful day while Firefall is playing. And you see Larry chasing Rob, "I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you!" And Rob's going, "Ah!" And that was just day one of our trip.
Anybody remember the Riviera?
The what?
The Riviera, we remember the Golden.
All right, so.
What about the rally sport, man? The rally sport.
I was going to do my Hoff tour today, but I'm going to. So he had this crazy car. I think it was his mom's car. It was a crazy car. It was 427 heavy. He left rubber everywhere. There was not a piece of NMB that didn't have his rubber on it. Shit. One day I looked at his tires. I said, "Rob, there's metal coming out of your tires. That's not right. That's not right." So then a few days later, me and my mom, we'd soldered our front swale in. We worked on our house all the time. Oh, Rob pulls up in that gleaming gold 427 Buick, whatever. And when he leaves, he punches it. And sod goes. My mother's a school teacher, and she goes to me, and when she got mad, she got Southern. She's like, "Oh, never, ever get in a car with that bull." But she loved it. She loved it.
I got a quick Riviera story too. How many people here had the pleasure of being a passenger in Rob's Riviera?
I don't remember. Maybe.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrifying. So for the uninitiated, Rob would drive through the streets of North Miami Beach just like a crazy man. I mean, he would run through stop signs. He would go about triple digits down, residential streets. He would weave in and out of cars, and it was really terrifying. You guys heard of white knuckle drivers? He created the first white knuckle passenger. It was really bad. But it was a very cool car he had. Anybody remember the car?
I don't.
I mean, it had that boat tail back and the fastback window.
It was his mom's car. Yeah,
It was his mom's car.
his car. It was his mother's car.
He used to have a bald spare, and he used to change it so he could burn rubber. So he put the bald spare on and shoot down along the
His driving got any
along the
better, did it?
canal.
Right? All the time?
I remember Marjorie would go to Robert 6 months after she got tires. She'd go, "Robert, why do I need new tires? These are only 6 months old."
He would go through like a set of tires that were warranted for 40,000 miles in about a year. I mean, that was his thing. And he was a great driver though. And his signature move, which he could do better than any stunt driver or race car driver, was hitting the gas and the brake at the same time, and he would spin the rear wheels, and there would be such a cloud of smoke, you would swear the car was on fire. And so one day we were hanging out in front of Pam Hirsch's house, and I had my Dalmatian Sparky with me, and Pam's dog, who was an attack dog, her dad was a bail bondsman, and he had to deal with some unsavory characters
in Criminals, so they had this attack dog. He comes running out of the house and just goes after Sparky, and he just killed him. I mean, he was just a mess, and he was laying there in the street, and it was about 10 minutes to 5, and Rob says to me, "Get in the car with your dog, I'm taking you to the vet." And so I'm in the car in the back seat. To this day, I remember there was no one I'd rather have behind the wheel than Rob. And there was no one who could have got us to the vet. And I remember there was no cell phones back then. We couldn't call ahead. So I'm in the back, my dog's like whimpering on my lap, and Rob takes off. And he's running through stop signs, and he's weaving in and out of traffic on 6th Avenue. And he's going 100 miles an hour down 167th Street. And we get to the vet just as he's packing up to leave, and he sees Sparky, and he says, "Bring him in," and he stitched him up and bandaged his wounds. And that would have never happened if it wasn't for Rob.
Good story.
Hey, I'm never grateful. Rob certainly was okay.
Is that when Sparky had his cone?
I was after that.
When I was 10 years old, 9 or 10 years old, I went to summer camp with Robbie in Campbell County. Thank you. Actually, his brother, Jeff, was my counselor. What happened was about 5 o'clock in the morning, every morning, I would pee in my bed. And I wake Robert up for 8 weeks. And he would change the sheets with me, go back to sleep, and he never told anybody. Not true, Larry. He told
Actually, he did. Oh, boy. It's on his Facebook page.
It is now. Has it gotten better?
A little bit. Anyone want to talk about football games? We have. How many times did Rob want to be quarterback?
Every time.
We would all get together. I think probably since 5th grade, we would get together and play football in the streets. We played behind Sable Palm, in Sable Palm,
My block.
in JFK, NMB. We played tackle. We didn't know how. I mean, we were playing tackle on 10th Avenue. But Rob always had to be quarterback, and it took us a half hour after we all got there to get through the arguments about who would quarterback. Larry, Rob,
Maury?
Yes. I mean, seriously. But we had the best games. We played against. It was Greynolds Park, Sable Palm. It was the olders versus the youngers. We had so many games. We had our annual Thanksgiving Bowl, and the most depressing time was the year we were old enough where we couldn't play tackle anymore because it hurt too much. So we had the best games, the best times. That's back when, I don't know, probably the younger ones don't remember when the Dolphins were good. Probably not, but they were good then. And we all wanted to be Larry Zonko or Nick Bonacani, or in Rob's case, Bob Greasy. But we would always get, when you would huddle, it was always in, who brought it up today? Rob would always say, "Okay, I want you to go this way." And this was our playbook, was our palm of our hand. You're going to do a hook. You go 5 yards and go out and do a hook. And everybody would listen because when Rob quarterback, he wanted to be the boss. And he was good at it. We had fun.
He was the quarterback of our football team at JFK. Our phys ed.
Yeah, you put a football in his hand, he'll be the quarterback.
You know how we decided?
Well, that's true.
You know how we decided? He said, "I'll be quarterback." That's how we decided.